Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with A Trumpet for My People. I want to talk to you about the worldwide lockdown quarantine that has taken place over the weekend of the spring solstice between March 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Major movements to lock down multiple countries. I mean, we're talking about 50, 60, 70 countries, and the list is increasing daily. This coronavirus is the myth that is needed by the New World Order to cause panic around the world, to be able to bring the world into complete lockdown. And I will add to this right now that the Trump peace deal of the century was signed on January 28th at the White House with Benjamin Netanyahu, and that brought about the division of Jerusalem. And within 50 days, from January 28th to the spring solstice, the world has gone into complete lockdown. So we're seeing the fulfillment of peace and safety and sudden destruction that has already begun. I mean, if you're talking about a world it brought to complete lockdown within 50 days, that's sudden, I would say. Would you not? 50 days to bring the world into complete lockdown. All the businesses closed, all the schools closed, all the churches closed. So this is Bible prophecy happening right before our eyes. Well, I want to share with you about the quarantines, the meaning of quarantines, and the connection to a biblical time of judgment and testing. Quarantine comes from the Venetian Italian for the 40 days that ships had to isolate during the plague in the 14th century. In Latin, quarantine is quarenta, 40. So quarantine in and of itself, it has to do with 40 days. Okay, we can see this if we look at different sites and search quarantine, 40 days, Wikipedia, 40 days, dictionary.com, Live Science, 40 days. All these sites that confirm that quarantine, the meaning of quarantine is 40 days. Now this is the time period that was given to Nineveh when Jonas came to Nineveh and preached unto them. In Jonah chapter 3, it says, the word of the Lord came unto Jonah the second time, saying, Arise, go unto Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. So Jonah arose, went into Nineveh, according to the word of the Lord. And now Nineveh was an exceeding great city of 3 days' journey. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried and said, 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. So when we are hearing the word quarantine, this is connected to a biblical time frame and a declaration of judgment within a 40-day time frame. We already see the sudden destruction has already begun. Where do you think it will go? Will the destruction simply go away? The land of God has been divided. The judgment has already begun. The suddenness of the world lockdown within 50 days of the Trump peace plan is extremely sudden, unbelievable, unimaginable, inconceivable that the world could be brought into lockdown so quickly with such a lame and just farce plan of a virus that isn't even I mean, on the scale of the flu, as far as the number of people that die from this every year. Yes, it's growing rapidly, but they're also inflating the numbers to prove their purpose and their agenda, to push their agenda. And so they have to inflate the numbers to keep the people in fear and to keep the people actually even thankful to the government for locking them down, because the government is doing them a favor. The government is looking out for them. Wow. It's unbelievable how blind people are to the fact that they think that they're going to actually get their lives back. I mean, the world is over. The world is over as you knew it. So now we have a biblical declaration of 40 days through the understanding of Jonah, through what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 12. Jesus answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. There shall be no sign given to it but the sign of the prophet Jonas. So we have quarantine, 40 days, 40 days, 40 days. That's all you're hearing every day on the news. And this is a warning of the destruction that is coming. Now, the people of Nineveh repented, and God extended out the mercy. What are people doing right now? What will people do right now? Are people taking this seriously? The whole world on lockdown, and people are joking about it, drawing up new memes about it. There's a lot of people are very serious about it, but there's just a lot of people that think this is so, it's just a bump in the road, right? It's just a bump in the road and we'll get over it. We're going to come out better. We're going to get out stronger, right? On the other side. We just need to go through this time of suffering and we'll be fine. We'll be fine, right? Well, Jesus said that at the end time generation, a wicked generation will get the sign of Jonah. Okay, so we have a 40-day declaration, quarantine. Now, on March 20th, which was the solstice, the day of the solstice, the day this article came out in Business Insider and showed how many countries. I did a video on this, and the list of countries is growing every day. There are 50, 60, 70 countries that are going into lockdown, that are already locked down. Trump said in his statement yesterday that there are 144 countries already infected with the virus. So it was this weekend of the spring solstice, which is also connected to Skull and Bones, Coronavirus 322, Obamacare, and everything else that we have seen, especially the Georgia Guidestones and the depopulation agenda of the New World Order. So we have this spring solstice as a marker of when the world lockdown went hard, went full. A full worldwide lockdown starting on the spring solstice. So if we go 40 days from the spring solstice, this brings us to April 29th, 2020. Now, April 29th is significant for a number of reasons, which I will share with you. So I want you to understand that there are signs that are very strong that go with April 29th. So if we just try to pick a day, any day, we're not going to have the signs that go with it to show why April 29th may be the day or a specific day within the time frame of God for the judgment. Now listen to the number of reasons why April 29th is significant. First of all, on April 29th, there is a massive close approach asteroid, estimated diameter of 1.1 to 2.5 miles across about the width of the island of Manhattan. A huge, huge asteroid. Of course, they're saying this is going to be a near miss. It's not going to hit the Earth. But on the day that God has designed, it will eventually happen, right? We know that it is written within the book of Revelation that a great millstone will bring forth the destruction of Babylon in 1 hour. A great millstone thrown into the sea by an angel. And so we have an asteroid coming on April 29th. There's a lot of articles about this. A lot of people or articles mention that this could be the end of the world. And of course, they debunk that. This is not the end of the world. But it's documented, clearly documented, well ahead of time. The number of asteroids that have coming close to the Earth have been increasing daily. There were 4 over the Skull and Bones weekend. Over the next few days, there are 6 or 8 asteroids coming close by the Earth. But those are asteroids that are detected pretty much close to the time that they're coming. They're detected and they're coming by Earth, and they're not always seen so far in advance. But this asteroid has been seen a long time ago. It's in the news. It's documented, and they know that this could be a potentially hazardous asteroid on April 29th. The other thing I want to share with you is that April 29th is the 120th day of the year in leap years. We know that Genesis says that God's Spirit will not contend with man forever. His days shall be 120 years. We know that that's connected to the number of jubilees. 120 jubilee years times 50 is 6,000 years. And so if 2020 is the 6,000th year, it's also a sign of 120, 2020, 120. So we're in that year, and then we have the 120th day. So it's a double confirmation of 120 in the year 2020. So that's another detail about April 29th. The other detail about April 29th is that it's the 5th of IYAR. Now, why is that important? On the Hebrew calendar, this is the anniversary of Israel's independence. The 5th of IYAR, April 29th, 2020. Okay, so we watch the Gregorian calendar, but we also watch the Hebrew calendar, and the importance of these types of conjunctions. It's the 40 days from the spring solstice. There's an asteroid coming. It's the 120th day of the year, and it's also the day of Israel's independence. Now, I've got another piece of information for you connected to the Revelation 12 sign. For those of you who have been following the work that I've been doing over the last number of years, you will know that the abomination event of Barack Obama connected from March 22nd, 2013 by 1,335 days exactly to November 17th, 2016, which was the beginning of the Revelation 12 sign as Jupiter was just entering Virgo. The sign that took place on September 23rd, 2017 was a sign that took place at the end of the birthing process, but the conception of the Revelation 12 sign was November 17th, 2016. Okay, so this is the day that was connected to the abomination event by 1,335 days. And it's the beginning of the Revelation 12 sign. And then it goes on I'm going to share with you what it says in the book of Revelation and how it's connected. But from November 16th and 17th, 2016, the day the Revelation 12 sign began, to April 29th, 2020, it's 1,260 days, exactly. 1,260 days. Now, let's look at the Revelation 12 sign in the Bible, and we'll see that the number 1,260 is given to us exactly. This is a huge piece of information right here that I'm going to share with you. There appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. She, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Okay? So we have the Revelation 12 sign. We have the beginning of the Revelation 12 sign connected to the abomination event by 1,335 days. According to Daniel 12:12, 1,335 days after the abomination. And it goes on to say in Revelation 12:6, the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. 1,260 days. So we are given a time frame from the Revelation 12 sign where we will be given the wings of an eagle and will be taken into the wilderness, and we will be sustained for 1,260 days. So from the Revelation 12 sign, 1,260 days. If you continue reading in Revelation chapter 12, you'll see that that is where the dragon is cast out at the end of the 1,260 days. The dragon is cast down to earth. Now, about the 40 days. It's not only connected to Jonah, it's also connected to Moses and Jesus in times of trial, times of fasting, times of temptation. At the end of the 40 days of Moses, the law was given. And it's also connected to the ascension of Jesus Christ on the 40th day. And that could be the connection to the rapture of the church on the 40th day. So I know that talking right now about 40 days is not a pleasing subject. This is not what we want to hear. But I think that, number one, God is extending his mercy out and giving the opportunity for people to wake up and open their eyes, to repent, giving the last call of quarantine of 40 days to the people to repent. And it's giving us an opportunity to continue sharing with people, helping them to open their eyes and to bring forth the last call. Because once we leave in the rapture, they're going to be left alone to fend for themselves. I don't know how much we are going to have to see as far as death and devastation. I think that there is, all of these things are already happening. I think that it could increase greatly during this time, and we will see a lot of things that are very unpleasant, that we don't want to see. And the things that we didn't expect to see, that we should have been out of here by now, that we should not be going through this. But at the same time, we have in the book of Revelation, the people are crying out and said, Lord, how long How long until you avenge our blood? Just a little while longer until the number of martyrs is filled, is brought to the fullness. And so there's just a little more time, and there's going to be more people dying in the meantime, leading up to the rapture of the church and the signs that are going forth to allow the people to see this worldwide lockdown is not going to go away. The judgment on the world is set, and it has already begun. And there is a destruction event that could be connected to this asteroid coming exactly on the Independence Day of Israel. 1,260 days from the Revelation 12 sign. And it's also the 120th day of 2020. So I bring this to you. This is what the Lord has been showing me over the last 2 days. I've been very busy, and I've been spending time with my kids, my own kids. I've been spending time at the orphanage with the kids there. And I've also trying to analyze all of this information because I didn't really want to share with you about April 29th. That just seems so far away right now. Right now it seems so far away. Of course, we're less than 40 days. We're already into March 25th. We're at about 35 days from right now. 35 days. So could it happen before? Yes, I think the rapture could happen before April 29th. And I'll leave you with this, what it says in the 10 virgins. 10 virgins says, the wise had enough oil. And the unwise virgins came and said, give us some of your oil. And I think this is what is happening right now, and it's going to happen. We're in this time of quarantine. We're in this time where people are ill-prepared. People have not heeded the warnings. They have not expected this to happen. They did not see this coming. They're not prepared. They did not stock up. And they're going to be coming and saying, will you please help me? Give me some of your food, and give me some of your oil, and give me some of your water. And you know what? We don't have enough to go around. We don't have enough to share with everybody. We gave the warnings. You didn't hear the warnings. Now go find for yourself. Go get your own oil. Go get your own supplies. And well, they went out to buy. The bridegroom came. So I don't think that we have to specifically wait or come to April 29th. I think we're in the time right now. Definitely we're on the ark. We're definitely in the time of the 10 virgins. We're in the time of the quarantine where the foolish virgins did not prepare. They're going to wonder how to get their oil, how to get their supplies, and when they went out to buy, the bridegroom came. So we're in this time. I believe we're in this time any day now, any moment now. But I think there's something special about April 29th, and I think there's something connected to the asteroid that is going to be coming. I do believe that could be the day of the asteroid impact on the earth. This is what I'm seeing. I had no idea about this before March 22nd at all. I didn't want to look beyond March 22nd really. But we came to March 22nd, and the sign is true. The world is locked down, okay? So Skull and Bones, they are doing what they have planned. This is what they have planned. The purge is March 21st and March 22nd. This is what they have begun. Locking people. That's what they did in the movie The Purge too. They locked people people locked themselves into their homes. And now we've got people locked into their homes for 40 days or more. How long will people, that's the big thing, right? Now, before I close, I just want to say one more thing. I think that Trump is really making a mockery of the church. Today he said he wants to let everybody out. Today he said he wants to let everybody out of quarantine by Easter. I want all the churches full again by Easter. So what happened at the time of Pharaoh, right? Let my people go, let my people go. So he's now saying, I will let the people go by Easter, and it's all connected again to Passover. Let the people go. He's just making a mockery of the Christians. I don't know why people can't see this. It's just a joke, you know. Donald Trump said he was the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. Well, here he is implementing the plans of the New World Order. The seventh king of Revelation, a horn connected to the Antichrist Obama, but he's walking in par with the Antichrist. He's following the orders of the Antichrist and the Antichrist system and the plans of the New World Order. Trump is and always has been one of them. Two heads of the same beast. So I just hope people can begin to see this. I hope they don't have to wait until all of the cities are covered in black ash from the chimneys of the concentration camps. And that's what it took the people of Germany to wake up, the people of Europe to wake up to see this is not good what is happening. They turned a blind eye for too long, and they were able to carry out the Holocaust. And that is what they're planning right now. So I didn't necessarily want to go into all of these other details at the end here, but I just wanted to add a few things. And I do think we're at a time of testing. 40 days in the wilderness, 40 days without food or drink. You know, if you end up without food or drink and you need to go 40 days, remember, Moses fasted for 40 days twice. Elijah fasted for 40 days once. And Jesus fasted for 40 days. And he was tempted of the devil during the time of quarantine, 40 days. So if Moses did it and Elijah did it and Jesus did it, you can do it. You can do it. Do not fall into the trap of selling your soul to the devil for a plate of food. Please get strong in the Spirit. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You never know, but this time of quarantine may be the greatest blessing that has ever come to your life if you use it wisely unto the glory of God. I pray you're blessed tonight. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.